Hello, what's all this then? Okay, that's all I got as far as a British accent is concerned. Welcome to another episode of Crappy Reviews, where the games aren't always crappy, but the reviews damn sure are. I'm the one and only Crap Gamer with you as always, and the Wii U is actually a thing. And even though we might get some new hardware from them in the next couple of years, the Wii U has a good amount of games for it. I wouldn't recommend it as a primary console for people, but it has a good variety of titles. And one of those titles is ZombiU, which is basically the Wii U's first hardcore survival game. Let's find out how it is, okay? Now, I think ZombiU was a game that interested a lot of people when we first got a glimpse of it at E3, a couple years ago. And I admit that I was very excited by what I saw, and I couldn't wait to buy the game with my Wii U. Now, if I'm honest and upfront, I have to say I was a bit let down with the final product. I kind of felt there could have been a more of a narrative to the story to go along with the mediocre gameplay. Because if you have mediocre gameplay, at least have a good story. You want one of the two or three things to work right. And sadly, neither of them really worked right. Now, if ZombiU would have offered a story on par with like the Walking Dead games, then it would have been a stellar launch title and a stellar game instead of just a bit of a miss for the most part. But let's dive deeper into what this British zombie apocalypse game has to offer. Now, graphically, the graphics aren't really impressive. Some of the textures are a little bit lackluster, and it's always dark, and it kind of reminds me of the original Alien movie where you couldn't really see much. I know there's a lot of diehard Aliens fans, and I am too, but when you watched it originally, now maybe some of the Blu-rays or whatever are a little bit better with this, but you couldn't see anything. Like, you were like, what are these people screaming at? What's that? You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't really scary to me. So anyway, this game is a little bit like that. You couldn't really see anything. So, now there are ways to do survival horror without being so dark that you can't see, in my opinion. Now, the character models are average as well, and although we don't really see what a new console can do with launch titles, it would have been nice to see some slight improvements over the current consoles when it comes to graphics, meaning like the 360 and the PS3. Now, gameplay-wise, it's pretty simple. You're just a random survivor, and you go around in a first-person perspective trying to avoid zombies. Now, when you are confronted with them, you fight for your life. This means you're smashing a lot of zombie skulls, which can get repetitive to say the least. Now, you will find other weapons like guns along the way, but ammo is pretty scarce, and you'll want to conserve those things until you absolutely need them. Now, you're going to use the Wii U gamepad for various things, but mostly when you loot other bags. And you use it to access the bags and drag the items from the bag with the use of your gamepad, and you can use it to unlock doors, aiming, and various other options. The interesting and frustrating thing about ZombiU is that when you die, the character is gone forever. You wake up as a new survivor and play from there on out. You die quickly, and you can die while checking items in a bag, so it's kind of weird like that. You're basically always vulnerable, so I guess it's a really hardcore survival horror game, and that might not appeal to everyone. As far as the story, there isn't much of one. You get thrown right into the game, and since your characters will die often, you don't really get attached to them. And I think that's a bit of a problem for me. When I play a game, I always want to feel some emotions from the story. And with ZombiU, I just didn't get that. I don't want to give too much of the limited story away, but it centers around, some of the hubbub around 2012 and stuff like that and zombies. Basically another game that was trying to cash grab on that ridiculous storyline. It's all based on surviving and doing whatever it takes to live another second, another minute, another hour, another day, so on and so forth. Now, ZombiU could have been great, but instead it's just meh. It's not a terrible game by any means, but I thought for a Wii U launch title that the game it would take advantage of some of the Wii U gamepad a bit more and there would be a bit better story. The creepy setting of England and Buckingham Palace were pretty interesting, but the clunky controls didn't help a game that was already light on other things. The co-op stuff can be fun, but this game as a whole would be something worth more of a rental instead of a purchase. ZombiU gets an average 7.5 out of 10. Please remember to comment, rate, subscribe, and as always, rack 'em up. Thanks for watching. Crapgamer out.